I purposely picked this random street when I was down here in Detroit because it's super narrow and cars come from the other side. Unfortunately, we can't get an interaction as of right now to have cars come from the other side, because I've seen other beta testers like out in Cali and stuff have certain scenarios where they're really narrow streets and oncoming cars, and one of them has to stop all the way back from where there's space on the opposite side. So this is going right into what I thought was a pothole, but luckily it's just a manhole cover that needs to be fixed a little bit. So the car is creeping, it's in the way of pedestrians, and they turn, so that's good. Nice left turn onto Woodward, and oh wow, it picked a yellow lane and then went out into the proper lane where traffic is actually going south, which is exactly what it needs to do, and going right before this car was coming quick behind us, which is really, really good. I'm gonna bring out my cameras here. So far, the behavior compared to like older versions, man, it is just way, way better. Let me unplug my radar detector here because it's probably gonna go off a couple times. We don't need it for this drive, but the car on our right here wants to go and turn right. Okay, they decided again to merge over. I thought they were trying to go down this street. So now it's trying to get behind the Volkswagen that's trying to turn, which still has that behavior where it likes to get into the far right lane. A little bit of hard braking there, but it's okay. They kind of didn't know where they were going, and that was last minute. So it's a little bit slowing down for, I'm assuming, that gentleman on his little, I don't know what the term is. But yeah, so it still likes to weave a little bit left and right with the rail, the Amtrak rails that are here. This is a lane that you can travel in, but most of the time, most people that go downtown towards Woodward, where we are right now, likes to, you know, stick in the outer left lanes. After this light, I might tell the car to do that. That'd be pretty cool if they could introduce a setting to avoid that, just because I got these big 21s on here, and when you have thin tires and big rims, every little kind of like dip or valley in the road just makes the car a little bit more, I wouldn't say unstable, but it kind of more wobbly. So now it's going to the far left, which is interesting, lane that is. Not really sure why it was picking that and what it's deciding to do. But I know a lot of the other beta testers are on 11.4.7. I saw Chuck Cook got it, which is awesome. Again, if you guys are first-time watchers of this channel, viewers, I just recently picked up this Model S Plaid like a month and a half ago, so it already had beta from the previous owner, and you know, I'm assuming that depending where it was in the you know, kind of release cycle for the beta, I heard that doesn't apply anymore. And what I mean by that is that, like, was it the second wave of the beta when it went public outside of the original 2000 OG testers that were on YouTube, like Dirty Tesla, Chuck Cook, Black Tesla, all those guys. So it's interesting. But I'm assuming that they're trying to push it to newer vehicles. And I've heard people that are on subscriptions get them a lot quicker, which is strange. A buddy of mine went ahead and with his girlfriend, he has a Model 3 at his house, an early one, like a 2018. And then his girlfriend got into it, and she just leased a Model 3. And she subscribed to FSD, the $199 a month, which is $210 actually a month in Michigan with the 6% sales tax. And they went ahead and subscribed, and she gets the updates a lot quicker versus him. So that is pretty strange that they do that, but apparently they do that. And, you know, it's just very interesting to see that and all of that happens. But it's a beautiful day here in downtown. Lots of activities going on. You can see, looks like that was a bachelorette party, excuse me, of bridesmaids that were, you know, having some fun on the little push bikes. So I believe there's something going on, because when I picked this route in the navigation, it was showing a lot of red towards like Campus Martius, which this is for us a typical drive. So let's see. Okay, using merging into other lane, into faster lane. I'm pretty sure that's what it said. So far it's a lot smoother than a .3.6. So much smoother, which I like that. There was one version I remember in the late 10s or early 11s. It was so smooth. I think it was the late 10s. And they kind of took that away. But this is going back to more of a smoother version, less jerky, less undecisive, all of that. So it is green. A lot of pedestrians around. I like how it anticipated this gentleman. He was on his phone in the middle of the road, and you know, it was still going. It didn't just like stop. It kind of like slowly started going and saw that he was going back into the street. So I'm assuming that the neural net, because of the training data, picked that up. It's like, okay, this person's going back, or like redecided, you know, in that situation. So nicely waiting for this vehicle, and now we can't go because it's a yellow light. But nicely coming to a stop, waiting for that vehicle to go. If it was green, it would have went. But in the meantime, we caught a yellow light, which is fine. And it's a good thing that it didn't do any stupid, you know, decisions, because that was a Detroit cop that passed us. So we don't want to get a ticket with Beta. But I'm pretty sure DPD would let me off the hook once I explain to them what I'm doing, because DPD is trained a little bit different since this is a high crime city. But let's see what's going on. There's a lot of people coming from the south. It looks like there was a Tigers game. Now that I'm looking at the shirts off to my right, it looks like the Detroit Tigers were playing. It wanted to go left for whatever reason. Okay, stopping. That's bad. There's a car behind us, and he had to brake a little bit harder. It wants to go left. So just for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to go into autopilot. I'm going to try this minimal lane change for current drive. So I can stop doing that. It wants to go left so bad, but there's a car there. And now I realize why it wanted to. This car looks like it has hazards on, just shut them off, and is just stationary there. Oh yes, and it said on the screen too, changing lanes for path blockage. That was really good how far away it anticipated that. I wasn't even noticing. So now it's changing lanes again to follow route. Okay, so I didn't have to really mess with that setting. Wow, the system, hard yellow brake here. Okay, so now this is interesting. It stopped like it was supposed to, and let this gentleman go. But now the issue is, how is it going to know when to go? Because it's so underneath the light. How is it going to know it's green? Like, I have to literally look up into this awesome roof I have, glass roof above me, and it literally has to, you know what I mean? How's it going to see? I might have to push it through here, guys, because it did the right choice not running the yellow light if it was unsure. But now it wants to creep forward, and now the light is green, so I unfortunately have to push it through because I saw that the light was green. I can't see that. So again, definitely big improvements. I remember coming through here, was always confused. Let's see how it handles itself. Okay, merging into the lane. A little bit of confusion, but it got it correct. That was decent. It was a little nervous, I think, around all the other cars. But lots of lane changes to stay right, which is okay. But let's while we're here in this traffic, let's pick another destination. Okay, so now it wants to go around. All right, that's fine. We can take a different route. That is cool. It's kind of hanging out with this Explorer here. There's a state police right there to the right, so God, I hope the car doesn't do anything crazy. But so far the drive's been nice. A lot better, like I said, than 3.6. But okay, so it's not highlighting anybody. I think it's cautious around the pedestrians, and it should be cautious turning because this is a state cop next to us. Okay. Oh, goes into, okay, that's a big improvement, because we have to turn left on this light, and what it would usually do in every turn is pick the first lane, then go over. But the way we drive in Michigan is it went into the outer lane. It was a little bit hesitant, you saw there on the yoke, but wow, that is a big improvement. And I have heard that from other beta testers in Michigan that don't have YouTube channels, but just, you know, have FSD because they like it. That's a big improvement. A little bit of hard jerkiness there because it was confused, but it found its way. That's the important part. So some of you might say, why am I not reporting certain things? I don't want to keep it disengaging for certain parts, because if it figures it out, this is where we move towards AGI, artificial general intelligence, because yeah, it's going to make mistakes, but if it corrects itself before it becomes a situation that is dire or, you know, potentially cause an accident. That's what's important, because that's what we do as humans, right? Unlike some other autonomous companies that thinking that, you know, LiDAR is going to save them, they're still causing accidents. So I don't know how certain companies can claim level 4 autonomy in a geofenced area, but on top of that, they cause traffic jams in San Francisco, and they have to get a driver to drive 2 hours in the traffic and then go ahead and move the car with a human. You see, Tesla's never claimed anything more than it is. It's level 2 autonomy, right? That's why we have a safety driver. But I'll tell you what though, with the amount of data that Tesla has in San Francisco, they could actually probably run a geofenced level 4 autonomous system in San Francisco, okay? Now, this is interesting. We're kind of on the road, but the navigation's a little screwy. So it needs to turn left somewhere. So yeah, the navigation is completely off. Like, it's gonna do this turnaround, and oh man, that's really, that's heartbreaking because it's confused. Yeah, so the navigation is completely off on this. We need to be going in that street over there, but it rerouted itself instantly, which is the important part. So is it gonna go? I might have to tap the brake here. People are like, you're so trustworthy of the system. So you might see my big ass head in the way. Looks like the light is stopping for them, but yeah, so I had to stop here. The gentleman's letting me through, but it should have waited, or if it was gonna commit, it needs to commit. If it's gonna go in front of traffic like that, it needs to commit right away.